Hello and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasia. I am your host and this is episode 13 of the Betta breeding series. In today's video, I am going to give you a closer look at all of the baby bettas from the two spawns so you can see all of the changes that they are undergoing. And in the second part of the video, I will show you the preview of some of the babies that I will select to bring to Aquashella for sale this weekend, and I will also explain a little bit in depth on how I will sell the baby bettas in the future for those of you that would like to get a bit more information on that. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the two smaller tanks. These are 5-gallon tanks where I have the smaller Runtier fry of the two spawns. So right here we have the Startails and then we have the Marble Tancho. And I'm going to be pointing with my fishnet. So the smaller ones are doing really great. These are the ones that for 100% I will not be selling yet because they have to catch up in size, but they are looking really cute. The little ones are starting to all color up. The small ones are always pretty late to color up, while these are going to be very similar to the older ones that you will see, but we are seeing some very interesting marbling patterns in this particular tank. On the other hand, there's some crazy interesting things happening in these two tanks for sure. So this is the Marble Tancho spawn and this is the Startail spawn. So these are 2 weeks younger, 2 weeks older, and these are actually at Aquashella going to be turning 3 months old. So that is super exciting that they will just be hitting that particular milestone, but they're both doing pretty well. I'm seeing a lot of cellophanes and reds in this particular spawn. There's a lot of interesting marbling happening and there's going to be a lot of different changes to come. On the other hand, with this particular spawn over here, I'm seeing a lot of crazy things happening. So there are some white iridescent bettas, there are some reds, some coppers, some blues, and a lot of different really cool varieties. I am going to be holding these guys back a bit longer, so these are not going to be available at Aquashella just because since this is a new line I'm working with, I want to keep them longer so I can document how they develop and change, and this way as they kind of change colors and interesting things happen, we will all get to kind of experience that versus the Tancho spawn, which is much more predictable, and I kind of know by now what I would be expecting from this, so I am much more comfortable with parting with them, as well as the fact that they are 2 weeks older. So I think the larger ones will definitely be very ready to go to their new homes. Let's take a closer look at some of the baby bettas that are in here, because this is the group that I will be selecting from to bring to Aquashella because they are the biggest and the oldest. Sorry, kind of losing my voice tiny bit. So out of these little cute bettas, I will be focusing on the larger ones. So for example, maybe potentially this little one right there, that's, well, not little one, but big one, I guess. That one would potentially be chosen. This one in particular with the little tips on the ventrals can definitely be selected. There is a really big one that's in the back. I'm just waiting for him to swim back up here to the front. Oh, right here is actually right over here. That one will definitely be chosen. That one that is kind of with a whiter toned face, very sassy, has very cool like lavender colors in between his red coloring. His ventrals have little white tips. Very cute betta. So I will be selecting a lot of the bigger ones. I will bring some of the cellophanes because those will eventually potentially marble and look very cool, and you have a very high chance that you might get a Tancho out of this because I had multiple fish that were Tancho from this previous spawn, so genetically they should be predisposed to potentially maybe produce more Tancho. Not entirely, because marbles are kind of random, but more likely. to keep things very simple, I am only bringing 6 baby bettas per day. It's going to be a very limited amount, and there will only be 6 of the biggest that I have available. It will be first come, first serve. So if you walk up to me first, you will get to choose out of all the 6, and as people buy them throughout the day, there will be less to pick from, but I will try my best to select some of the nicest ones I currently have for you. To also make it super easy, they will be $10 each. I will not have change with me, and I also can't take online payments. If you have $10 with no change, that would be really perfect. We'll make it super easy, and then the money that I get just goes straight back into the fish room and my projects. What else can I tell you? Oh, they will not be displayed anywhere. I do want to keep them in a little insulated tote or a little mini cooler. I'm not really sure what I want to bring yet, but it's going to be insulated so that they can be at a nice warm temperature. The reason for this is if I leave them out on a table, they will get cold over time, and I really don't want that. So if I'm working on escape, if I'm not super busy, please ask me about them, or if I'm just kind of hanging around the booth, ask me about them, and you can get your very own super special betta. Also, because it's only 6, you have to really make sure you snag one, because it's a limited edition first, I guess, sale of the bettas. Afterwards, they will be available in 2 ways. I will bring them to some of the GCCA swaps, so they will be sold locally here in Chicago. It will also be a limited selection of nice, larger, appropriate sized baby bettas, and I will announce whenever I do that. And then for those of you that were interested in purchasing online, you will have to wait until spring, and I will make an announcement to let you know a more specific time. I will ship them in the spring just because I want to avoid right now the busy shipping season, because we're entering into around Christmas and Thanksgiving and all those things where a lot of people purchase a lot of things. So I don't want my baby bettas to get stuck in the mail, so I'd rather wait until springtime when the temperatures are pretty good and when the volume of purchases are not as crazy. So I think that will be the optimal time to potentially ship a limited amount as well. So that is the plan and update. I hope that this explanation will clear this up for everybody, and I am super excited to see you guys at Aquashella this weekend, and I am excited that some of you guys will purchase my bettas. And also, if you don't want to purchase a baby betta but you would still like to see them, you could also ask me, and if I have them still, I would totally take them out and you can get a closer look if you wanted to see one in person. So just don't be shy, ask me, and yeah, on that note, I'll see you on the next video.